My name is Sheena Kemihegyeyo, and welcome to Campus B Weekly Rewind. So this week, we're here to talk about depression, its causes, its effects, and how it can be solved, because we had a case at Makerere University where Ashraf Nsubuga committed suicide. Apparently, he had been involved in a Ponzi scheme where he lost almost 18 million shillings. And the poor guy actually slashed his compound before dying. So we are here to find out what causes the kind of depression that pushes people to actually commit suicide. How can we solve this and prevent it from happening? Here with me is the editor of Campus B, Nuwagira, and we're here to talk about depression mainly. So, Stephen, what do you understand when we talk about depression?
I think before that, about that particular case of Ashraf, when you go through it and read about what actually happened and stuff, you realize he died readily. He knew he was going to die, so he planned it and actually executed it. And it's interesting because you see, when someone is going through such a stage, his closest friends are supposed to notice something, like notice a way in his behavior, because if he cleans his room, if he goes and visits a city mortuary and tells you about it, because they say he actually told his friends about it. He visited it and saw how bodies were laid down, and they knew he had lost that money. So I think at that stage, that is when actual friendship needs to come out. You need to notice trends in behavior change with your friends and know when to come in. Know when to know this man may actually be depressed. Let us go and help him. We know he has lost this amount of money. He's been behaving weirdly. He's visiting city mortuaries. He's cleaning his room. He's preparing for something. So you actually come in and help him and find a way of like countering that effect on him and ensuring he does not take an extreme measure.
Now, this is where we ask you, who are your friends? Are they the ones who go to you to H2O, and when count times for like solving problems are there, they disappear? Who are your friends? We need to know. So we need to know what causes this kind of depression. So personally, I think coursework causes depression.
It does?
Yes, it does.
Because you see, coursework and study are stuff you expect. These are daily things that you know are coming. Does that mean in primary when you failed an exam, you'd be depressed and want to kill yourself?
It's not like that. Let me tell you. Personally, recently we had coursework and we worked our butts off to present the best work, and we bring this coursework to this man and he tells us the whole class has failed.
Yeah.
That is so depressing. You're telling me I've lost 30 marks?
So you're actually leading to failure being one of the causes of depression. It may not necessarily be academic, because like the late Ashraf, he lost money. He had a scheme he was undertaking. When he lost money, I think he felt a sense of loss, of failure, and that is how the depression came up. So it means other instances like losing an election or losing a parent, any sort of loss, any sort of failure can actually bring up depression.
Yes, I believe failure is one of the things that will actually cause depression. It's one of those things that really brings you down, especially when your family has so much expectations. They believe you're going to be the doctor of the family. That is it. And you fail.
So now family pressure piles it up. So generally we're supposed to be here telling parents that when you send a kid to school, give them support instead of pressure. When they fail an exam, don't derail it on them. Don't pile it up on them. Instead, guide them. It's a step in life. It's a stage in life that you can go over. That is a conversation we're supposed to be having with parents and guardians to ensure that they do not pile pressure on their kids and they don't feel that sense of loneliness and failure.
But you know, this song has been sung day in and day out. Parents, don't pressure your children, but trust me, when they come and when your parent tells you, you must come back with that degree. If you don't come back, past the other one's plantation, you will actually not come back home.
Now, I think that the real cause right now is the question if our parents actually know that depression exists. Do they know that there's a sickness or a complication called depression in life that a student or a child can go through, and it may have adverse effects on them, or they're old school and they've never heard of something like that, and they need to be brought up to speed about such an instance?
Yeah, I believe most parents don't know, because now, according to like my parents, if you tell them you're depressed, they'll look at you like, are you mad? We don't know what depression is. We didn't get depressed all those times we walked to our schools in the villages, walked kilometers and kilometers to our schools. So they don't understand what you mean by depression.
No, because similarly, there's a case at, I think, last week, UCU, a law student drowned. He was someone they knew how to swim. He was a regular swimmer at the hotel. He died, and this day he drank too much alcohol in the day, not at night, in the day, and drowned in the swimming pool. And in the build-up to the story, friends said he may actually have been depressed. So they knew he had a complication. They knew he might have been depressed and maybe didn't take it as serious. So he committed suicide also. It's not just Makerere with Ashraf. There's a certain guy at UCU also.
Now that's really sad. You know, friends, like I said in the beginning, who are your friends? Most of our friends just want to party with us. Party after party we go, yes. Then when I tell you I'm depressed, you're telling me, what are you talking about? You're speaking gibberish, like I don't understand. So it all goes back to who our friends are and what they should actually be to us.
Where do now counselors come in? Because I understand the people trained to deal in such issues. Like you have a problem, you're suffering a loss, you're not mentally stable, you want someone to talk to, there are professional people to talk to, counselors. Are they actually getting involved in situations like this at school? Do they get to reach out to students and find out who is having a problem, who needs guidance, or they're not there and maybe students don't know about them?
I believe counselors are there.
Do you have a counselor at your college?
I haven't actually checked that counselor out. Now, you see, personally, now, if we have to, most of the times we think we should wait until we have a problem to go and see a counselor. Or we believe, why should I see a counselor? I'm strong. I can take care of myself. So it's a hard issue when it comes to counseling. Counseling has become complex that we don't even want to.
Like that friend of mine I told you about, I had this friend who who opened up to me and told me he was actually depressed. And I didn't know what to tell him. So the only thing I told him was, find a counselor. Go to someone who is professional in counseling and talk to them. And he had restraints. He was saying he does not think there's anyone who can listen to him and not judge him. His problem was being judged. So he ended up swallowing up all his worries, and he didn't go to a counselor. He's not dead, but he did not go to a counselor. So he may still be depressed, or he may be nearing getting those suicidal thoughts that are the extreme measure of depression.
So you have no idea what's happening in his life?
I know where he is. He's still in school. I talk to him once in a while, and he's actually, I think he's catching up. I know if you do not go for counseling, if the depression later fades away, or you must go to a counselor and for it to go away. To find that if you do not go for counseling and maybe hold it into you, it goes away. I'm not sure. Or if it just hides and waits for a trigger to come out again.
I think sometimes maybe the counselors may not work for some people. Some people like to take it all in and maybe learn to live with it or learn to find ways on their own of how to get rid of it without talking to a counselor.
Do you think you've ever been depressed at all in
Yes,
your life?
I think so. Yes, I have.
Well, how did you know? How did you know you are going through depression?
You have this urge to be alone, like friends call you for this hot party after party, and you're like, nah, no, I want to stay in my room and be alone and be by myself.
How did you get over it? Like, did you talk to someone, or did it go naturally? How did you? Or are you still in that stage?
No. I don't believe in talking to people. Like, I believe in fighting it alone, because I feel like when I talk to people, I might burden them with it.
Does that
So-
actually work?
Yeah,
Fighting
it actually
alone?
worked for me.
Because I don't think these people that commit suicide want to die, but it overpowers them. I think they try to hold it the way you're saying, and it overpowers them. So could it be a thing about character? You find maybe you're weak-hearted and you can't handle it unless you talk to a counselor, or you're strong enough you can hold it and you'll not get suicidal thoughts at all.
Yeah, I think it all comes back to character, who you are, and what you can take in and what you can't actually take in. So yeah, I think it all comes back to who you really are. So
Do you think you can help a friend that is depressed at this moment?
yeah, I think I would actually be of great help.
How would you go about it if
I
you
would-
didn't actually seek someone's help in your challenge?
I'll try and talk to them and help them find out the root cause of their depression. I personally think most of us are depressed because we're just broke. Most campus students are just depressed because they're just broke. They're eating Chocomando, they're eating Rolexes, KFC is looking at you, giving you that sexy eye, come and take me, but you don't have what to pay. But I think
But you see, if you're broke at campus, it means you've been broke. You've not just gotten broke at campus. So
what
it's
are you
not the
talking
first time
about?
you're getting broke.
No.
You've been broke in high school, you've been broke in primary, and you did not kill yourself.
How can you compare brokenness of high school and primary to brokenness of campus? Do you know what brokenness at campus? Do you know the temptations? The food is calling you. KFC, Cafe Javas, everything is literally calling. Come, let's go out, have some fun, and you're like, oh, I have nothing here.
Because when I used to stay at Makerere in Kuruma, and something I remember about it is that there's actually a room for a counselor. As you're entering, there's a door with counselor, but I'd never found it open. I'd pass there regularly and I'd never found it open. So maybe the problem could be that these students get depressed, but there's no one they can talk to. They can't talk to their friends. They want someone who will not judge them. They want someone they don't know, someone professional like a counselor. But where is the counselor? The room is there. There's no one.
Oh, the counselor is actually there the whole day, reading newspapers, checking through their Facebook feed, and no
not
one is actually
telling
showing
the
up.
students, no, or maybe not actually telling the students that I'm here, come to me and I help you out.
At the end of the day, I think people know that the counselors are there, but they just don't want to go there because of their ego, and they think like, they have seen me going, what is going to happen? What will they think of me?
So what do you suggest to you?
I think we need to believe in ourselves and live for us, not live for people. Let's live our lives for us and not our friends, our families, our relatives, but for us. So let's stop thinking about what people think about us, but how am I going to be a better person at the end of the day?
So all in all, we're saying depression is a stage that can get into anyone, and anyone should be prepared for it because you don't know when it's going to hit. As long as you reach a point where you feel I don't need to be in the out, I need to be alone, I need to handle this big loss I'm facing alone, you just need to be ready for that stage and make sure either you have helpful friends around you, or you know a professional person that you can talk to in case something like that comes up.
Yes. Thank you very much, Stephen. This was an amazing discussion. My name is Sheena Kemihegyeyo, and see you next week on the Campus Weekly Rewind.